I don't know why it does that. It should automatically, the mic should be on. Anyway, so you couldn't hear me. My bad. I'm going to put the club chat in. Sorry. The live chat. There we go. Audio. Yes, I fixed it. I'm sorry. The mic, for some reason, OBS, I'll ask Winslow to check for that next time. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Club Sesh, your weekly weed-fueled dive into whatever is topical and timely. Tonight, we're talking Trump's shitcoin, empty ports, and the big fat myth of Made in America. All of it's connected, from empty ports to crypto dinners with Trump. It's all intertwined. And of course, Russia is in there somewhere. So grab your bong, pack your bowl, and let's get into it. Hi, everyone. How's it going? You hear me fine? Everyone else fine? Yes, Madam Drama, I know. I'm sorry. It was just the beginning of the show. Okay? It happens sometimes. The OBS just didn't womp womp, but that's all I say, because if I say too much, I'll get banned. Jaden, this is an open conversation. Of course, if you're disrespectful during any part of this, then yeah, well, like, we don't want that kind of energy here, but we're going to be honest. We're going to look at things for what they are. Ask questions, and if that doesn't sit well with you, then you can leave. Hi, Pete. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. Oh, where's the studio? 1 second. Oh wait, no, I don't want a studio mode. I just want to know. It's weird. It's not showing me my normal numbers that it does. All right. As long as it's working. That's weird. Broadcast. Cancel. Interact. What the hell does that mean? Bonbon chilling like a villain. That's right, JL Sanders. Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about today. I'm also like a little low on the energy today. I'm not gonna lie. I went out to dinner last night. It was wonderful, but sometimes like I'm not good at eating a ton of food. And it was a lot of food. It was delicious. Really awesome sushi omakase. I respectfully dislike how the current president has been taking his job. Has been taking his job. I'm a super politically driven person, so I'll keep my opinions to a minimum and just chill with everyone. Dislike how the current president has been taking his job. Do you mean how he's been not doing his job, or how he's been doing his job, or how he's been golfing? Is that what we're talking about? I don't know what you're saying. Because if that's the case, well, guess what, Jaden? You're in the right company. Now, if you're here to say, hey, I defend him no matter what, I love him, then you're not in the right company. But hey, you can always learn something. We can always learn something from each other, right? So let's just be open to learning. So what is this about the Trump meme coin? We're going to watch some videos. We have, hi, Petra. Welcome to the sesh. It's weird. It's not showing me like how many people are in the sesh right now, but that's okay. We're just going to roll with it. I'm packing a bowl, drinking a wine. That's nice. How he's been in the White House for 100 days. I think we know zeros are placeholders. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Make a point. Like, Jaden, just say what you want to say. I always find it weird when people aren't just like upfront with what they're trying to say. Let me be clear with you. I think Trump. Oops. Where did that just go? It just dropped weed on the floor. 1 second ago. No, there it is. Okay, what was I saying? I think that Trump is an idiot. I don't think he's an idiot, actually. I think he's actually very smart. I just think that he only cares about himself and his rich friends at the expense of American citizens. And I think his policy, we're about to talk about crypto, KG. That is Bonbon. She's out like a light, my friends. I was going to kind of zoom her in a little more, make her a little bigger. Can kind of cover up the mic a little bit so you guys can really see her cuteness. Let's make the Bonbon a little bigger. Is that too big? Anyway, we'll keep her there for now. He's been golfing a lot, not really a president. He's more of a crappy businessman who says he's running America like a business. Agreed. And I'm no customer. I'm a citizen fighting against fascism every day. Jaden, sounds like we're all on the same page here, man. You won't get any fight from us. I think he's a sick individual. And who loves Trump? KG, you love Trump? He must be very, I don't know, a man is what I'm guessing, because I don't know too many women who love Trump. And I think he's a real piece of shit is what I think. And we're going to look into that today. And you can decide for yourself how you feel about him. But I'm definitely not a fan. Pete, it is challenging to have conversations like this. But like we said, you can learn so much if you just relax. Cool. Great. Michelle, it's going to be cool. Are you a Trump fan, Michelle? No. Come on. No. Come on. KG, tell me one policy that you like that he's implemented. I'm curious. Okay, that's cool, Michelle. You don't have to have to. I mean, I'm going to talk about this. That's the topic today. So we're going to do that. High rig rentals. But you don't, I'm not going to hold it against you if you decide this isn't your scene. Wait, Kathy's been with what? The vape info? Kathy knows everything about vapes. Kathy's the best. Kathy is one of the members. Let me drop this for you guys. She's one of our members of the Edibles Club. And she's wonderful. Been a member since the very beginning. And so if you want to join our club, we have a group chat. I'm going to pin this at the top. Okay, so you can join there. There's different tiers, and it's pretty awesome. So, okay, so let's look at... I want to look at a couple of things. First of all, so with this, one second. All my tabs are open. With this shitcoin, right? The meme coin that he launched. KG, did you buy his meme coin when he launched it on Inauguration Day? She's become my sponge for all my unnecessary talking. Sometimes you're mean to yourself, Michelle. Maybe she enjoys your talking and she likes the company and she likes the conversation. She doesn't find it unnecessary at all. Maybe she finds it very necessary. All right, so let's talk about a couple of things about his crypto coin. So he launched it on Inauguration Day, right? Very strategic. Lots of eyeballs on him, of course, on Inauguration Day. And so let's launch a coin because I need to pay for whatever bullshit. Oh, Jesus. All right, KG, you're full into the MAGA, huh? How do you feel about women bleeding out because of abortion bans? You totally cool with that? You're fine with that? You're fine with the Project 2025 agenda? So anyway, we don't have to get into that unless you want to get into that. KG, happy to talk to you about it and how it really sucks for people who have uteruses. We like to have options with our lives, you know, and when you support abortion bans, it's not about protecting unborn children. You're putting women's lives at risk because they can't receive medical assistance. And I'm not talking about it. And even if it is this, I still don't see a problem with it. Obviously, this is like a really debated topic, but a lot of times it's like, oh, women are being they're so promiscuous. And that's like a nice word for what people say. They should just keep their legs closed. And it's like, that's not all of the abortions that are happening. There are a ton of abortions that are, the moms want the baby and for health reasons, whatever, the baby, maybe the lungs are on the outside of the baby. It's just not humane. And now they're forced to carry it to term, right? Or wait till their body naturally aborts it. In the past, we had rights and we had ways to help the mother. It's not an easy process being pregnant. It's very dangerous. It's hard on a woman's body. Anyway, what's going on? It's heavy. It's like you're lucky it's not you. Uh-oh. Okay, we'll talk about it later, Michelle. And you can message me on Patreon. What about the costs of the rest? But what about the costs of the rest of us? So that's a great question, right? That always seems to kind of be the thing that is at the crux of everything. And I think Elon Musk really, really captured it when he said how he sees the world. And I think how a lot of conservatives see the world is empathy is a weakness. It's really weird to me because, you know, I grew up Christian. My parents are super Christian, born again Christian. And my mom was a religion teacher. I know I've grown up in the church and Christianity. None of the teachings are in line with the conservative Republican Party. So I don't ever understand like why they're considered the Christian party, you know? I mean, maybe if you want to like the hard things like abortion, like we don't want to kill a baby. Well, I think you're still killing a baby when you let it go without food, when we don't support children, when we're letting children be hungry, when they go into foster care system and they're being abused or, having to deal with the trauma of that in their lives. I think that's horrible and unchristian. So anyway, but nowhere in hell is Trump banning abortions. You're really not paying attention if you think that the Republican Party isn't putting in place abortion bans. You're not watching. You're not paying attention. And it's because it doesn't affect you. Once again, empathy isn't the strong suit of conservatives. And that's why you think that. He might not himself personally have that as his top agenda, but I guarantee you Project 2025, and if you look at what's happening with the states, that is what is happening, okay? They're coming again after birth control. They are, the conservative states have abortion bans. And women, if they want to leave those states to go and get health care elsewhere, they can be charged in the state once they get back, okay? So it is, your head is in the sand if you think that this isn't happening. Women are dying. They don't report it in Texas. Very few reports, right? It's all swept under the rug. But women are bleeding out in parking lots. They're dying of sepsis. They want to increase the amount that we have children, right? They want to increase the birth rate. Why don't they make it safe for us to do so? It scares me. I mean, whatever. We're not talking about me personally and what I want to do with my body. But if that were an option for me, it is an option, but whatever. If that were something I wanted to do, let's put it that way, right now or ever, it scares me that like, oh shit, if something goes wrong, California, I'm fine. But in other states, no. You guys are misinterpreting everything. Okay. There are smarter people in my group that can debate with you, Vanessa. Well, KG, I'm asking you. I'm not asking your smarter people. And if you believe something and you're voting a certain way, you should be able to speak for what you believe in. You shouldn't have to rely on other people to speak for you. Oh, look at this little stinker. Should I move the bonbon cam so you can fully see her? She always does this. Okay, 1 second. Be right back. We got off track. There we go. Okay. So, I can bet you on that. Yeah, I'm the wrong one to ask. Okay, but you're the one who's sitting here and telling us that this is your opinion and you're totally for Trump, but you can't tell us why, and we don't understand anything and we're misinterpreting everything, but you can't tell us why. I feel like if you can't explain yourself, then you should probably just shut up. Because I can sit here and tell you why I feel the way that I feel and think the way that I do, and we're going to look into it. And you should just hang out and listen, maybe learn something. Okay. I live in Texas and this is some BS. That's right. So it's not a good situation for anyone. When you look at how, a woman's right to choose is in line with a lot of progress in the country, right? It gives us freedom. It gives us equality. I want to have the same rights as a guy. I don't want to have to worry that if something happens to me and I have an unwanted pregnancy, whatever the fucking reason, that I'm in the wrong state. I'll never leave California. Let's be clear on that. That my life will be at risk. Anyway, respectfully laugh my ass off. Vanessa, you're crazy. Oh, wow. Way to be a misogynistic pig while you're at it, KG. Really living up to that MAGA piece of shit reputation that you guys have. calling a woman crazy. How fucking original, bro. You probably live in your mother's basement. Is this the most interaction with a woman that you've ever had? Let me ask all your smart friends who can debate me. Are they all men? Okay. Why don't they debate Destiny? Why don't you watch some Destiny if you want to like have some... Anyway, this topic is stressing me out, and I eat when I'm stressed out. Rig Rentals, I'm not responsible for that. Come on, leave the damn chat already, creep. Yeah, he can leave. They need to give men birth control. They can just snip their tubes, right? Tie their tubes, whatever. It's not always 100%. Blind faith in other people's beliefs is a slippery slope. I know. What a terrible... Comes in hot, right? Comes in so hot. I'm MAGA. I'm Trump supporter. You know, tells me I'm wrong. I'm misunderstanding things. But then proceeds to say, oh, I can't debate you. I'm not the one to debate you. So why did you say anything to begin with? Come have one of your douchebag friends come in here and debate me. By all means, I'm in... Quite a mood. You want to see crazy? You haven't seen crazy yet. Loco. In Italian, we say pazza. Yeah, sono pazza. Sono siciliana calabrese. Okay? You can go ask some Italians what that means. Bitch. You piece of shit. Oh, wait, no, I want to see what this asks. Bunch of weirdos here. You know who said that word? Now you're quoting Democrats. Now you sound... Now we call you weird. You're weird. You're in a cult. You're weird. You worship a Cheeto man and thinks he speaks for you. Do you know how elite that guy is? He shits on a gold toilet. He's going to pump and dump his coin, and he's going to take your money. And then you're going to say, oh, yeah, that was the plan all along. We knew he was going to take our money. That's what you guys always do. You have so many excuses for this guy. It's disgusting. Michelle, I will fucking fight this soon. Let's go. Let's go, man. KG. Get out of here. His shitcoin, you know what he's doing? Let's get into it. The shitcoin that you own. He's selling, he's told people, the top people who have his shitcoin will have a chance to have dinner with him. So what's that going to do? It's going to cause all of these people to rush to go and buy his shitcoin, right? What happens when that happens? He makes more money. Then what does he do? And this is right before it unlocks that he can dump 20% of his shitcoin. So he's going to jack up that price, and he's going to dump his part after he takes all your fucking money. And you know what, KG? Hold on to it. What do they say? Like, hold on to it a long time. Just hold on to it for fucking ever. I hope he takes every goddamn penny that you've given to him, because you deserve it. Yeah, we can all... Why can't we all get along? Amen. FZ, because I hate that. Because they're coming after our rights. Because, no, we can't all get along. We can't. Not when you believe shit like that. Not when you believe, you know, that other people deserve to be treated like shit. They're deporting people without due process. They're just putting them into basically an extermination camp, you know, in El Salvador. I don't know if you've seen that, but KG, you're a fucking Nazi. There you go. That's what I think. All of them are shitcoins. I totally agree with you. Amen. FZ. But here's the thing about this shitcoin. This is the only shitcoin that is attached to the president of the United States. I believe it should be illegal for anyone in government to be in business like that and making money like that. It should be illegal. I don't think that is being a public servant. I think it's taking advantage of your position. I know it is. And it's sad. Oh, did he go away? Hi, Chris. Hi, Core. How are you? It's not called shitcoin, Petra. It's called a meme coin. It's called a meme coin. One happy mama. I'm okay. I just, you know, I just found that guy annoying, but it looks like he took off. So see you later, alligator. Actually, I don't ever want to see you. Little known fact, the S in POTUS does in fact stand for shitcoins and tariffs. Oh yeah, we're also going to get into the tariffs. Oh no, nothing. Chris, there was a Michelle. Core is also Chris. There was a MAGA supporter in here. And I let him have it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about this. Some statistics, okay? The Trump coin, right? So there's the dinner rewards scheme where the top coin holders get invited to dine with Trump. It's not a joke. This is a real thing. I heard it and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. It's a grift, right? It's a fake asset that's attached to not just a celebrity, but to arguably the most powerful man in the world at this point. And it's to vacuum up these donations under the guise of an investment in his presidency or whatever bullshit. And, you know, and that's what I've heard is like been the argument. Chris Fist is absent. He might be back. But we got insider training to regulate us out. Well, we need progress. It's a mess. It just is a total mess. I'm just going to say, like, this is not that I can technically give financial advice, but if I were to give financial advice, I wouldn't buy crypto at all. But if your crypto comes with a Trump stake, you should pass. Okay? But I want to bring up, is Chris Fist here? He's here. There he is. Chris is here. Chris, what do you think about the shitcoin and how Trump is using, saying you can, remember we talked about it in the group sesh, like you can basically, you can, oops, I didn't mean to do that. He's going to sell the dinners with him, or the top people who have the coin get to have dinner with him. Potentially. I don't know. We're going to listen to someone who knows more than I do. But I can still speak on it, even though I can't speak as much as I would like to. We're going to learn together. I smell it. I know a grift when I smell one, okay? Okay, so we're going to watch. Connected my thing. Let's see what Chris says. Usually any of these coins with past history drop 90 to 90%, 99% the value on release. That's right. Anything involving MAGA for hard pass. I know. We got to say no to the shitcoin, but let's try to educate some people because maybe secretly KR is still watching, or KG, whatever. I already forgot their name. Maybe they're still watching and we can redeem them. We can educate them a little bit on this douchebag that they're supporting. Okay. So let me change to eggs, man. Let me change to the browser sesh. Oops, let's make Bonbon big still, but it's a little bit of a game. Okay, so we got the new chat is still up in here. That's good. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know who Destiny is. Let's put this here. Oh, shit. Let's put me over here. There we go. So I don't know if you guys know who this guy is right here, Destiny, but he's pretty interesting. He has a lot to say about everything. That seat at the table, yeah, totally, man. Sob with incentives like that is dangerous, right? To buy at the start, possibly accumulate after the dump if you really want. That's eat at the dinner table, right? So like after the dinner table thing happens, there's going to be a dump. But like most people aren't paying attention like this. Most people aren't like Chris, who's like, oh, I know what to do, how to ride this wave, right? I'm going to, as soon as they're kooks in surfing, what they call those surfers who don't know what they're doing, right? They jump on a wave. They don't know how to wait. They don't know the etiquette. They don't know the rules of the waves. They call them kooks. I would say for this, we can call them kooks, right? And he's taking advantage of those people because he knows that they don't know. And those are the people who pay the price. The people who don't sell, they hold on to it. And, anyway. It seems if you have a ton of money, it buys access, but it's a distraction for all of us, 1,000%. And that's what the other thing is like if you have enough, a chooch. I've never heard of chooch. I've always heard it called a kook. Anyway, if you have enough money, yeah, you can have dinner with him, and that has a lot of influence. So let's see what Destiny has to say about this topic. I didn't want to move that. I wanted to move Bonbon. Let's put her there. Yeah, that's cute.
I didn't even think about this. Oh, that's so fucking dirty. Why didn't I even think of this? Trump announced a big crypto coin.
I'm gonna get an
And this is why this is so dark. This is a zero-sum game. And that's also what I find so disturbing about this.
AG, I hope you're watching.
It's the fact that the Trump organization actually knows that. They know that there is a certain percentage of their fan base that is dumb enough. Your thoughts, starting with Trump coin. Trump is inviting the top holders of Trump coin to an exclusive dinner and also a VIP tour of the White House. This is great news, isn't it?
I think we have hit a new low where we're selling off access to the president in a dinner based on who puts the most money in a Swiss banking account. And the reality is, these are the amateurs or the people, the cultists who are fascinated by him.
You're going to listen to this in this video, but it's like, who are those top people, right? Who are these top people who are going to be able to afford dinner with Trump because they're the top buyer of his shitcoin? And the shitcoins, it's crypto. So who could it be? Who could it be? Who wants influence in America?
The most important people in terms of the Trump meme coin would never show up because what they've done is they've bought a bunch of meme coins, probably with his permission or his encouragement, in exchange for geopolitical advantage from America. It would never dare thinking of showing up. I hope this thing gets a lot of attention and a lot of people start focusing on what is easily the greatest financial grift in the history of presidents. What
do you think is the most pressing issue for Canada right now? Honestly, it's probably the United States and dealing with the U.S.
It just cracks me up that people were pissed off about Hunter Biden.
This is corruption at its core. Folks, this is what people hate about the swamp. This is a part of how Donald Trump won in the first place.
And yet we have a meme coin and he's inviting people to the White House for the dinner. I don't know. I find the whole thing, it's verging on comical if it wasn't so tragic.
There's no argument for this. You can't even attempt to steelman this. It is pure grift, pure corruption, using the White House, using the presidency as a vehicle to shake down regular investors, not wealthy political donors, which you can make the argument that maybe the Democrats do, but retail investors in order to raise money, again, not for some greater cause, not even.
And we welcome the uneducated stoners. Not if you call me crazy, then you're gonna really get a mouthful. But we welcome people who don't understand and are curious and want to know why people are so upset about all of this. Okay? So let's just keep spreading the word. I'm not gaming. This is them gaming in the back. So this is Destiny, and he has a lot of political commentary that he does, and I think it's interesting. He's it's kind of meta, right? Because he's streaming them, Professor G up top while he's gaming, and I'm streaming him streaming them while I'm hitting the bong with you guys. So I think it's good. We can just because we smoke weed doesn't mean we shouldn't know about the world. Let's stay on top of things, okay?
Not even to fund some political campaign, but purely to enrich your friends, to enrich your family, and to enrich...
You ever hear these guys talk and you think, God, these guys are just soy as f***. They sound so f***ing mad that Trump figured out the great crypto scam before they did. And now they're just ass pained over it. Like, yeah, the president of the United States is scamming every single American, and he's opened up a potential avenue to accept bribes in a way that we'll never be able to verify for all of U.S. history. Problem?
Yep.
Your allies. This is completely unheard of. And I just want to highlight that lockup period, which it was a 3-month lockup.
Okay, listen to this part first of all. But I also want to point out, do you understand like the danger of this? Because it's all anonymous. They don't have to say who they are. It's crypto. So he could be getting donations, is what they're really calling them now, from anybody. Russia. It's probably Saudi.
Period. It basically meant that the insiders of the coin can't sell until the period expires. So this is very important. We said this, we need to pay attention to when the lockup period expires. It expired
every 3 months.
Week. So
I think there were 4 lockups. I think there were 4, right? Because it's like 25% vested in 3 months, and then 3 months, and next 25%, and then the next 3 months, the next 25%, and then, right? I think that's how it worked, right?
Start selling it off.
Surprise that this bullshit incentive plan to pump up the price of the coin, which is leading to this rat race.
Wait, what's the incentive plan? Sorry, hold on.
That this bullshit.
Oh, fuck! I didn't even think about this. Because Trump is giving dinner or whatever bullshit to the top holders of the meme coin. Oh, that's so fucking dirty. Oh, why didn't I even think of this? Because it's near your vestment period. This is when he can finally start offloading his coins.
That's right.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Incentive plan to pump up the price of the coin, which is leading to this rat race where it's winner takes dinner with the president. That sent the coin skyrocketing up 60% in one night. Is it any surprise?
Is that true?
This coincides?
Wait, is there a TradingView does TradingView host this coin so that I can see what it trades at? Or is there a website? When did he announce that? Oh God. Was it on April 23rd? Trump announces
you could see it,
dinner
right?
Crypto holders 5 days ago.
You can see it.
Good one. Jumped by more than 70% after the announcement. Oh my God.
70%,
right when the lockup period expired. Definitely not. And I think what we'll find out soon enough.
The lockup period, so Trump, I don't remember what percentage they own of the coin, but he's not allowed to sell it all off at once, which is better for him, right? Because that means it seems like it's this kind of safety thing for the people buying the coin. It's not. It's no other coin has that much ownership to, the Trump and his people, his goons. It's unheard of. And so there's these locks that are on it where once they reach these time periods, 3 months, whatever they are, quarterly, he can sell off 25% of his coins. So what does he do right before one of these dates comes up? Because he doesn't want to sell low. You don't want to sell low, right, Chris Fist? You don't want to sell low. You want to sell high, right? Buy low, sell high. Well, what can the president of the United States do to make sure he's selling high? He's going to offer dinner. You could get a chance to have dinner with Trump. Now, are people like KG going to be able to have dinner with Trump? No. No. None of those people. The wealthiest people in the world who want something from Trump, and like they said, they're not going to show up for dinner. It's not about the dinner. The dinner, I'm sure he'll find some people to put in there as, oh, they won, you know. And the dinner, it's all just a ruse for him to make a bunch of money. It's a grift. He's a con man, you know. What was that saying? Like the devil, something about, not that I'm religious, but the devil, like, he'll tell you, like, you'll see it. They don't hide. He doesn't have to hide. He doesn't have to hide. He tells you he's fucking you over. So I guess, like, at least there's that. I don't want to have dinner with Trump. Maybe if you were cooking it, you wouldn't want to have it if I was cooking it, because I'd pull a Sicilian on him. That's what I'm going to say. And Gold is saying shit is about to hit the fan any day, week, or month. Do you want to expand on that? Amen, FC. Expand on that, please. Let's keep watching. I'm enjoying this.
Is that
Sorry
the
if
insiders?
you're not.
This was the Hail Mary that they threw right before they sell, and I would not be surprised if we find out, you know, that they sold, that they profited significantly off of this, not in terms of what they realized in a gain on Trump coin, but in dollar terms. I think they announced the dinner, and then we find out they cashed out. And I just want to remind you again, this was the Hail this does.
From April 23rd to May 12th, hold as much Trump as you can. Your average holdings during this period will determine your ranking. The more Trump you hold and the longer you hold it, the higher your ranking will be.
See?
Oh
So
my
fucked
God.
up. So fucked up. So
To
what he's
regular investors. Let's look back to a few months.
So Trump saying, hold on to your coin, hold on to your coin, hold on to your coin, because he's about to sell his. So fucked up, you guys. Really fucked up. Sorry, KG. Really fucked up. Really fucked up. If a Democrat was doing this, if Kamala Harris did this, she wouldn't do it, first of all. But fucked up. Like, please. Please. It's ridiculous. And I know all about Nancy Pelosi, so don't get me started on that, okay? It's not even close to the same. Okay, so let's keep listening.
Months ago, when the coin was first launched, you look at the on-chain data, and you will find that there were 31 early traders who made a profit of almost $700 million trading this coin. And you think, boy, that sounds pretty corrupt. But then you see
That sounds pretty corrupt. That's funny. Check this out. It tracks all the initiatives in Project 2025. That's right. That's right. I was trying to say to KR about KG, whatever their name is, about 2025, Project 2025. They can leverage the, wait, 1 second. I got to read this. Light bulb moment. Okay. Waiting period is how it will grab the money, right? 70%. It's 70%, right? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm missing some of your comments. I'm sorry. I'm going back. TradingView does host the Coin Destiny light bulb moment. Damn, you get it. Gold is better than shitcoin. My uncles always said invest in gold. My Uncle Harold, RIP, always said invest in gold. And I think if like they had invested in gold, like would have made a lot of money. I don't want to have dinner with Trump. Oh, that's right. I read this already. Before the devil knows, you're dead. Wait, what? You're right. And gold is saying shit. I don't know where the rest of that sentence is. They can leverage the amount of money in the account while there is a waiting period. Float in steroids. Interesting. the same dev who made this token worked on Melania's token, right? And Hawktua Girl. Well, Hawktua Girl got in trouble. So why is it a grift for her, but it's not? Well, because he doesn't get in trouble, right? For whatever everyone else does or what other people do. Hawktua Girl got in a lot of trouble. I haven't heard anything about her since. If a damn cat were doing this, it would be just as fucked up. There's no excuse for it. No, it's really awful. It's really awful if anyone was doing this, right? Like if a celebrity, I guess celebrities do this, but yeah, Hawktua, not a celebrity, but you know what I mean. Gold prices are pushing past all-time highs again, indicating that it is a true hedge given the stock markets and crypto downturn consolidation. Nations are accumulating good as well now. Okay, let's keep going.
The 800,000 other investors.
How is that any different from Michael Saylor? It's the same thing. Howard Lutnick is on the admin, the custody provider to USDT and Prime Bank dealer. She didn't get in trouble. They dismissed it. Nerdy X90, did KG send you? Are you one of his little friends that got sent in? Co-founder of Bitcoin. Here's the difference. He's the president of the United States. He's using his presidency. And like, I can't get into the weeds of Bitcoin. Chris Fist can. I'm not in it. But he's the president. Do you understand? And so he's using his position to make money off of the American people. That's not the job. That's not the job. You're not supposed to make, I'm not taking a salary. I'm not taking of course he's not taking a salary. It's probably a joke salary. He's making millions, billions off of this presidency. Him not taking a salary is like someone like, I don't even know a good analogy. It's like, I did everything but vaginal, so I didn't technically have sex. It's like, yeah, you did. So anyway, her whole body is twitching. Bonbon? Let me see. She's sleeping. Do you want me to check on her? You guys scared about Bonbon? Nerdy is onto something. Lutnick should not be in the position he is. He has too many conflicts of interest. They pulling in and pushing and making a killing. All right. Well, we can look into this too. Let's keep watching this video. Okay. We're getting a little sidetracked, and I don't know enough about
who
Lutnick
lost
to
cumulatively
speak on that.
more than $2 billion.
But feel free to in the chat.
And this is what we have to remember about meme.
What's the significance of that announcement date? Okay, so the issue is that, like, I don't even know how many of you guys understand crypto. Nobody really understands crypto. So it's very frustrating when people talk about it because nobody really understands how f***ed up everything is or what's going on. Okay, but let me try to break this down a little bit, okay? So what happened was Trump announced a big crypto coin, okay? And the name of this coin was Trump, okay? When this coin was released to the public, however, all right, only 20% of the coin was available for everybody to buy.
See,
so this is what
it wasn't
we
70,
can buy and sell.
80%.
And this is what insiders hold. Insiders meaning people that get pre-approved slices of the coin that aren't available to the main market. They're not being bought and sold.
Breaking it down.
So it's not uncommon that some insiders or some people will hold some amount of the coin.
This is like so much worse than what Martha Stewart did. And they skewered her. Women aren't allowed to be in positions of power like that. If you ever get to that level like Martha, and she was on Wall Street, she's a bad bitch. Sorry, Martha, if you'll ever see this, but and she just got I just think she got too big and they wanted to take her down. This is really corrupt.
Coin pre-sale, 80% is a massive number, though. That's an insane percentage to be held by insiders. Okay.
He runs Cantor Fitzgerald. Okay, we're going to look into
Now,
it.
on top of the fact that insiders, so people that created the coin or allocated coin by people that created the coin, so Trump, right? Aside from the fact that these guys have a massive percentage of the coin, 80%.
Okay, sorry. Chris Fisk, most coins are proof of work requiring high-end computers and graphic cards and electricity to create the coin, which is causing issues with pollution and carbon. I don't think the environment is a concern to this guy. I think he does not give a fuck. There are people who, I don't know what, I don't get it, because I feel like all of the data points that we look at when we look at the climate and we look at the world and we look at the environment and what's happening to ecosystems, it's really clear what's going on, right? So we're not headed in a good direction, and we haven't been for a long time. But I just don't, they don't see it. I remember trying to explain, when I first learned about the trash island, I was talking to people about it, and they told me I was making it up. I was like, no, I'm not. Now it's common knowledge that we have this huge trash island, several of them, wherever the waters, the tides bring the trash together, right? All over the world. But there's a big one in the Pacific, because that's where all of the shipping route is, mainly we're going to get into that too, but the main shipping route is from Asia to Los Angeles, the port of Los Angeles. And so trash and just shit gets into the waterway. So anyway, I don't think he gives a fuck about the environment. That guy just wants power, and money is power, and politics is power, and he'll do anything for it. It's gross. It's weird. It's weird how Christians think they can, it's against their religion. They should all be poor, right? What is it? A rich man has as much of a chance of entering heaven as a camel walking through the eye of a needle. So I don't know. Listen, I don't believe that shit. But if you're going to sit here and try and shove, and by you, I'm talking Christian conservatives, you're going to shove that shit down my throat, everyone else's throat, we all need to be fucking Christian. That's what Christianity teaches. So you guys should be happy to pay taxes and to give your money away, because how else are you getting into heaven? Can't get into there if you're rich. Anyway.
Are making money off of fees from people that are buying and selling to run this whole pool, which is also crazy because they're making a ton of money just on people that are buying and selling in this 20%. All right. So now a way that you can say, oh, well, this coin is legit. And you know how you know the coin is legit is you have this thing called like a vesting period, which is similar to people that do stock compensation for tech workers or, whoever else. You have a vesting period. And what that vesting period said for Trump coin was they're not allowed to sell any of their coin until 3 months pass. And then in 3 months, I think they're allowed to sell 25% of the coin. So 3 months have to pass before they can sell any coins. So they go, oh, look, so we know it's not a scam. It's not a pump and dump. We can't even pump and dump because, look, we can't even sell our shares. And then I think every 3 months afterwards, another 25% of this 80% here unlocks. Now, the dirty part is if they truly believe in this coin as a real project, you're not going to see them sell and dump because they want to support it or whatever. But what's actually going to happen is once this vesting period hits, what you would expect to see is this whole 25% chunk basically get dumped onto the market where all of these people are trading. And as it gets dumped onto the market, it's going to crash the price of the coin, which is going to drive down the shares, the value that all these people are holding.
Those people,
and it's going to allow these people here to extract a ton of money from these people because they're going to have their buys and sells lists and everything. They're going to be buying as these people are dumping. The price is going to go down, and then these people get to cash out. Now,
that's you, KG. That's you, man. He's talking about you. Hope you're watching.
It's kind of obvious that this is going to happen. So, I mean, why would you fall for a trap this stupid, right? Obviously, the coin should just crash before this vesting period, right? Well,
No,
one, Trump is the president of the
not
United
going
States,
to.
which already allows it to float a little bit higher than it should. But now, what Trump has said a few days ago, before, I don't know, does anybody have a date for when we hit this first vesting period? What Trump has said is, I'm going to offer a dinner to where if you're holding a lot of this coin from between this date and this date, you have a chance, if you're in the top holders of this coin, to have dinner with me. Well, what that's going to do is that's going to put a lot of upward pressure on the price so that as soon as they hit this first vesting period, they can dump at a higher price and make a ton of money as they basically pump and dump this coin. And that was about a week ago they announced that. So, and then I'm guessing we're coming up on our first vesting period pretty soon here. So that's just, but the timing is just to basically inflate the price of the coin. It's kind of crazy.
It's not crazy.
And this is why this is so dark.
It's smart, right? Like, if you're a greedy person and all you care about is making money and whatever, fine. Nice variation on a Ponzi scheme, right, Pete? I've learned if you have to think, is this talking about me? The answer is absolutely yes. Yeah. Not talking about me. Oh no, my Siri is responding. Oh, there you guys go. Make her a little smaller. She likes to move around, you know, like she's like me. I'm like that too. I can't stay in just one spot. But she's sleepy. She went to the park. I tried to play it from my OBS. I'm guessing Matthew 16:26 is about the eye of the needle. I'm sure I said it wrong. Like, I wasn't a good Christian student. Do you know what I mean? But I do know the things. Let's see. Good. What good will it be? Exchange for a soul. Not that this needs to be Bible study. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. See, I got it right. Hey, Archbishop Mitty. Me too. I was not a good Christian student. No, I was not. But there are certain things I remember, you know, and I remember them because I'd be like, well, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. And the hypocrisy of it all is what ruined it. I mean, a lot of things ruined it for me, but just the hypocrisy really pisses me off.
This is a zero-sum game. For every winner, there is a loser. In fact,
oh no, 1 second, you guys, because I can't hear. AirPods connected.
more often than not, thousands of losers. And, you know, the losers, I hate to say it, are the ones who are...
Wait. They're looking to commodify forests in Latin America. Lutnick and Satalogic deserves some looking into. Find and create new markets to dominate for eternity. Ugh. It's getting really dark, my friends.
Are dumb enough to buy into this shit.
Dark. It is
And
dark.
that's also what I find so disturbing about this. It's the fact that the Trump organization actually knows that. They know that there is a certain percentage of their fan base that is dumb enough to do what...
Why did you wonder if the announcement was on the 23rd? How did you so specifically guess that? Because the goal of an announcement like that is to pump up the coin. So I didn't need to know when the coin was announced because I can just look at the price of the coin and go, oh, wow, there was some major news,
response.
Obviously, that pumped the price of the coin. You can see it here. And you can see that the price of this coin jumped dramatically on the 23rd. So that's probably when he made the announcement, is what you can see right here.
Yeah.
Oh, and the first 25% is
interesting.
already locked. So they could already be dumping coins. I don't know if people are...
It's interesting to like look at to see how news impacts something like that. It's just obvious that doing what he did was to drive up the price of this coin. So
analyzing wallets to see if like some of the original 80%, I'm pretty sure you can track the original 80% being sold, but that somebody more into the crypto shit would have to be able to answer that question. How the fuck is this legal, not blocked? Because the Trump admin has already basically said they're not going after any crypto schemes or crimes. So.
Oh, so Haktua didn't get in trouble.
Whatever
they're not doing anything about it.
It's the fact that the Trump organization actually knows that. They know that there is a certain percentage of their fan base that is dumb enough to do whatever they tell them to do, to jump off a cliff if Trump demands it. Not the whole fan base, but certainly a percentage of it. And in this case, jumping off the cliff means throwing away your savings to bet on this rigged casino game that is disguised as a meet and greet with the president and a VIP tour of the White House. I mean, I am just still shocked, and I'm with you that it's comical. It is comical because it's so shameless. But that shouldn't detract us from calling it what it is, which is unprecedented corruption, and it is tragic.
His team also collects fees on each trade, and they've earned roughly $100 million just in January alone. And of course, you know, I love in 2016, he was just irate at the conflicts of interest and that Secretary Clinton was getting $250,000 for a speech. I mean, in this instance, he isn't even asking for donations. It's worse. He's asking for people to buy a volatile, unregulated coin that enriches him directly. And if I were Vladimir Putin, and if I get kicked out of Ukraine, it probably means at some point I get thrown out of a window. I mean, people who lose power in Russia, it usually doesn't end well for them. And I'm spending $60 to $100 billion a year on this failed war effort. I've lost almost 1 million young men, sending them into this meat grinder, which at some point has got to take a toll on the morale. And
anyway, you could quickly debunk the Pelosi insider.
Oh, yeah. See, look at they're talking about Pelosi. Let me read these comments. The whole point of meme coin, Eddie Moretti says, is to use PR to pump up the value. Right. He uses like events to pump up the value, and then he'll offload a bunch of his buddies who are that 80%. And this is what I said would happen. If you guys remember that reel that I made a while ago, and I got so many people in my comments, and I remember Chris Fist told me, he's like, you were right about that shit, Vanessa, and I'm right about it again. So, and it's because, you know, it's like I listen to these guys, and it's just very obvious. It's very obvious that they're grifting. They make it obvious. Okay, so check out the Fourth Reich Archaeology Pod, Vanessa. Okay, we'll put it on our list. Amen, FC, we can still resist. Of course we can. We have to midterms. We have to vote. We have to keep protesting, keep showing up, keep protesting those Teslas and protesting in our state capitals and in DC. 50501. Nerdy X90, good luck with that. What do you mean good luck with that? Do you mean the resistance? Can't give up, man. Can't give up. We got to be like the French. We got to, we got to keep going. They have a song about pump up the volume. Who's they? My mouse keeps on going over to my laptop, and I don't want it to. Let me see how much battery it has. Magic mouse. Oh, it's almost dying. That's not good. Okay, let me play this and then plug my mouse in for a minute. We're going to keep playing.
Better trading allegations. That shit is so annoying to hear. There's no way to debunk it because there's no proof or evidence of it. So it's just an unfalsifiable. People just say because her husband is very wealthy, and he's a huge trader, hedge fund guy or something. They say that because he's very wealthy, there must be insider trading. But it's impossible to disprove that because there's literally no evidence that they ever provide of it happening. So I don't know how you're supposed to be able to say anything about it.
popularity, wouldn't he be just stupid to figure out a secure way, maybe using Signal on a phone, to call the president and say, all right, price discovery is dictated at the margin, right? If the Trump coin has a $7 billion market cap, you might be able to take it to 10 or 15 billion with just 100 million, 500 million, a billion in purchases, right? What if you said to him, look, I can make this thing, I really love the Trump coin, and I'm going to make sure that for at least 5 years until you're well out of office, that this thing never, or that at some point it's at least worth 50 billion, and your stake is 80%. So you're about to become the richest man in the world, President Trump, just because I love the coin. And in unrelated news, how do you feel about cutting support to Ukraine?
Right.
I mean, wouldn't Putin be stupid
Okay,
not to make that call and make that offer? And two, wouldn't it be logical? Wouldn't it be the next point in the data pattern in the line for Trump to act on that call? I mean,
right.
He started a meme coin. What do you think he did it for? And the notion that he wouldn't be subject to this sort of influence, it just doesn't look at the corruption and the trail of bankrupt companies, the trail of unpaid subcontractors. And I'm incredibly disappointed the Democrats aren't putting up a better fight. I can't believe they're not.
I mean, what can you even do about it? Like, it's his DOJ. They're not going after crypto shit anymore. It's a fucking meme coin. Like, what? And the issue, too, about fighting over it is, like, just people just don't understand what crypto is. Because they're counter to...
I know it's Nancy's husband and his, what was it? His vineyard hotel thing up in Northern California. They got a bunch of PPP money. Not good. None of it's good.
Counter to this is they're just going to say it's crypto. You don't have to buy it. Nobody's forcing anybody to buy it. Like, if people want to buy into a meme coin, they say that it's a meme coin. They really truly do. There really isn't anything you can say about it. Like, they're pretty open that it's just a scam. Like, it used to be that people would pretend. First, they pretended with big crypto projects. Oh, this project, check out the white paper on this, it's crazy. Then they pretended with like NFTs based on other cryptos. Well, we're going to do cool things with NFT. And now people are literally just like, oh, it's a meme coin. LOL, memes. LOL, it's just a meme coin. And it's basically, that's just like, I don't even want to say it's a code word for a scam. It's just scams. That's all it is. But people seem to be okay with it. So what do you even do about that? I have no idea.
All over the press today talking about all the different scenarios for the Trump coin and how this is nothing but pure grift.
Let's move on to Boeing. And Boeing's earnings, they had actually a really good earnings report. Revenue up 18% to $19.5 billion. Deliveries up nearly 60%. They've also reduced their cash burn down to $2.3 billion. A year ago, it was $4 billion. And there was a really big pop in the stock here. I think, it was a great report. I think what really surprised to the upside, though, and what the markets are pricing in here, was how optimistic Boeing was and their CEO was, Kelly Ortberg, about the tariff environment. Because, meanwhile, you've got all these other companies that are somewhat freaking out about the tariffs.
Right.
40% of earnings calls so far this quarter have mentioned the word recession, which is unbelievable. By the way, 90% of them have mentioned the word tariff, and you actually called this. You said that tariffs was going to be the new AI on earnings calls. That is what's happening. But he did not seem that concerned about these tariffs. And he was asked up front, what about China? China is your second largest market in aviation. Well, are you concerned about that? And he didn't seem fazed. And if I had to paraphrase his response, it would be, we're watching it, but we'll be okay. And then he had this line where he said that 2025 would be Boeing's, quote, turnaround year. So very optimistic. I think what that tells you is that he and Boeing believe that these tariffs, particularly on China, are going away. And we'll discuss more what's happened in terms of tariffs.
I'm like going back and forth between charging my mouse because I don't want it to die. Okay, good. It's charging pretty quickly. So, Okay, Petra, you do want, I think I'm going to get these cookies. I've never had a crumble cookie before. And I keep watching this one woman. What's her name? Bonbons. Doing her little, she's dreaming hard. She's running. She's chasing. And I always watch her videos and they sound so good. I don't know if I'm sure they're going to be disgustingly sweet, but I just want to try them. I know it's bad. I don't care. Nerdy X90, the Trump admin, is sacrificing the stock market to keep the bond market alive long enough for the tariffs to kick in, but we don't have enough time. Correction is coming either way. Yeah, I mean, the tariff, like China is, I feel, calling our bluff, or his bluff. They're not shipping anything. Ports are empty. We'll look into that. I see empty retail shelves soon. Yes, totally. 1,000%. And yeah, we also want a weaker dollar so we could refinance our gajillions of dollars in debt at a cheaper rate. Okay. Yeah. This. Verdant as in because of supply chain issues like the past or straight up famine. LOL, not so LOL. I think because of not supply chain issues because of the tariffs, but I think he's just going to backpedal. I think the tariffs are going to go away. And he's going to say, well, I did my deals. I'm the king of the deals, right? I got us the best deals that you could get. All those countries that were having us pay too much or, and weren't paying us anything, screw that. And he'll have all his little deals. And then when you actually look at the numbers, it's not like the juice isn't worth the squeeze, kind of thing. And actually you hurt the juice because I don't know, there's fucking brain worms in it. I don't have an analogy for it, but it's all about I have never had one either, Pete. It's all about decimal. Petra, I'm getting some. We're going to talk about it in a second. I'm going to order right now. I've decided. It's all about decimal points. If you lose a couple decimal points as a billionaire, no big deal. The rest of us get a lower standard of living. And that's always like they keep saying it's going to hurt a little bit. You need to be patient. It's just going to hurt a little bit. And when they say it's going to hurt a little bit, do you think that they mean them? Hurt them? Hurt the rich people? Hurt any of his friends? Hurt any of them? Do you think it hurts them? No, it doesn't. It hurts us. It's going to hurt us. It's going to be when I go to get my groceries to do the live streams, it's going to cost more. There might not be so many options. The imported stuff, chocolate, when I go to do Marigold Sweets, I'm a small business. Small. I am small. Me. That's how small. Okay. And then I'm lucky I have partners who have manufacturing facilities. Partners as in people I know who want to work with me, manufacturing partners. And packaging, I want to get new packaging made. The packaging made in America is very expensive. Most packaging is made in China. I haven't asked my packaging guys how much it's going to go up with the tariffs, but it's something I'm anticipating. So it's not good. It's not good. But I also think he's going to backpedal. So, all right, let me see. We have liquidity. Might be able to pause YouTube with the space bar again oh, that's good. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, duh. So I don't have to. Chris, you're a genius.
How Trump appears to be caving.
Let me order these crumble.
But it is interesting that these earnings came out before we heard those comments from Trump. And so it appears that Boeing.
Okay, so there's crumble or there's Brady's Bakery, which are these stuffed cookies. No, we're doing crumble. I want to try these.
In my view, had some sort of inside knowledge, or at least some inside feeling that, yeah, these China tariffs, they look very scary, but ultimately we're not too worried about it. How else would they not be worried about it if they didn't have some inkling or some real sense that these tariffs wouldn't be going through?
I mean, one.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, here's our options. Tell me in the chat, okay? Tell me in the chat. You guys are having a whole conversation together. I love it. I love it. Nerdy and Amen FC are having a great talk. We've got milk chocolate chip cookie. Basic, but could be like a standard. Birthday cake cookie featuring Oreo. Okay? Give me hearts if you like any of these. I just tried crumble. Okay, so they're not good, Russ, is what you're telling me. They're not good. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Should we go? Let me change the poll. Should I go somewhere else? I have other options. I just thought maybe I should try. Let me keep going. They have a brookie cookie. They have a strawberry ice cream bar cookie. They have a dulce de leche cookie. They have a carrot cake. And they have a butter cake. I want to try brookie cookies. Okay, let's try brookie cookie. No, I don't want 4 of them. Just 1. Hi, Christian. How's it going? Scott G is pretty dope. Oh, good. Yeah. Hey, good looking. What you cooking? Hi, Dean P. Why people are just coming? No, they're great. I just meant free samples is the best way to try the flavors. Okay, good. I'm trying them. We're nerding out is what we're doing. Okay, so I've got 1 brookie cookie, right? So we have the strawberry ice cream bar cookie. Does anyone like that? We have a carrot cake. We have a dulce de leche cookie. Or the birthday cake cookie featuring Oreo. I wish I could only get 1. You know, I wish I could just get 1 cookie. Maybe they have the minis. Should I try the minis? Or do you think that's not going to be like... No, I should do the whole thing. Carrot cake. Wait. I heard it has enough sugar to put an elephant down. That's disgusting. That makes me not want to get these. Carrot cake. Everyone's saying carrot cake. Okay, let's get the carrot cake. Not 3 of them. And then, should we try I'm just going to take a bite of each is what I'm going to do. I want you all to know. A strawberry ice cream bar cookie or a dulce de leche cookie or a birthday cake cookie. I've got the brookie. I'm waiting for someone else to give me. Here are our options. Birthday cake cookie featuring Oreo. Strawberry ice cream bar cookie. Or a dulce de leche cookie. Okay, I'm just going to pick because no one has any clue. We're doing the dulce de leche. And we'll do the birthday cake featuring Oreo. This is going to be disgusting. I have a feeling. Strawberry. Now we're saying strawberry. I can change it. Don't worry. Let me get rid of. How much are these cookies? I'll let you know. They're not cheap. It's ridiculous. It's 1 man against 100 in the RNC. Strawberry. Dulce. One says strawberry. One says dulce. No one said Oreo. So I'm going to say. What are we saying? No. Wait, which one is the special edition one? The birthday cake cookie? Or the strawberry ice cream bar cookie? Which one are you saying no? Wait, which one is the... You need to tell me. You can't just say that's a special Kardashian or like which one? If I could only get one, I would get one. But I need to get one more. And I don't want to get the one that's the 1,000. No to Dulce. Is that what you're saying? Because it's the special... That's the one with 1,000... That's the one with the 1,000. Okay. So I can get the strawberry one. And I can get the birthday cake one. They all have 1,000 things of sugar in them, don't they? Should I not get these? I'm very conflicted now. I'm going to take a bong hit and I'm going to let you guys... I got 75% people telling me you can always change your vote. You can change your vote. The birthday, lose the birthday cake. Okay, got it. We'll put the dulce de leche back. I think the birthday cake one is the Kardashian one, right? I'm trying them, Chris. I wish they sold milk. Okay, they only have water. All right, let's continue. It's going to take a minute, you guys, but I'll eat. That'll be the last thing I do, okay? 42.51. We're doing it. I have to try them now, right? I got rid of the birthday cake. I got rid of a birthday cake. Are you ordering from a weed delivery app? No, I ordered from a food app. Uh-oh. She's awake. She's awake. Oh. Nope. No. Oh. Okay.
I mean, one of two things has happened. Either that he called the
Yeah, 42.51. That's ridiculous. Actually, you know what? For 4 cookies with delivery, I know this sounds really obnoxious, but $10 a cookie for those cookies, they're so gross and it's obnoxious. That's a lot. That's too much money. Did I say if you want to round up? What's Bonbon doing?
called the Boeing CEO and said, don't worry, boss. Hey, do you want to come to my crypto meeting? Don't worry, right? We know you're a great company. Don't worry, and let me put out a press release saying you're hiring more people. Just don't be critical of your earnings call, obviously. Or the Boeing CEO just said, this guy's full of.
So there's no. I know I should have gone to 7-Eleven. Okay, but I need to try these. I've never had them. I should have gotten them for free. It's a write-off. I'm streaming and I'm trying them for the stream. Okay? So that's how it's going to be. Anyone remember the Panera Bread Lemonade scandal? I don't. We're going to keep watching this. I have another video to watch after this. We're going to switch over to ports.
Nothing's going to happen here.
Could be that.
We make great planes. Airbus, I mean, the thing about this is a duopoly controlled by 2 companies, Airbus and Boeing. And even if Airbus, for a time being, makes a better plane.
Yeah, tell us the story.
As the global economy grows and demographics grows, there's always a need for more commercial aircraft, and no one of them can produce enough. So it really is a duopoly. And they have incredible pricing power, and these are just incredible companies. And I think what he's decided is, okay, this is a fucking distraction. And his earnings.
I mean, like, I'm a recipe tester. I develop products. This is what I do. This is called R&D. This is research and development, my friends. Maybe. Thank you, Christian. Cookie Fund. I love it. Okay, I'll put your name into the raffle again. We're going to keep pulling. The raffle is always going. Just need to get some milk. I do love 7-Eleven. You know, 7-Eleven around the world, I feel like there should just be a show about that. Like all the different 7-Elevens around the world and the unique things that they offer. Right?
Things seem to cement
The
that.
raffle is still happening.
And while China's threatened to reduce their order book,
I'm not going to pull one every week because it's too many packages for me, you guys. I'm still like, it takes me a while to like pack up the books and the things that I'm doing. But we'll do it. I'm trying to think if when we're going to do the next one. I'll figure it out. Oh my God, Pete 81. Thank you. Cookies paid for. Don't tell the tax man, okay? We're going to still write it off. There is no tax man anymore. They gutted that department. Wait, what was the caffeine? The lemonade killed a bunch of people. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did hear about that. Listen, I am literally going to I'm going to open the cookie for you, and then I'm going to take a little bite and see if I like it. And then if I don't like, I'll let you know my verdict on them. I've never had them before. And then, yeah, see, Petra, are we still paying taxes, Adam? I try not to piss people off, I don't mind paying taxes, especially state taxes. I want to make sure California is still the 4th largest economy in the world.
I would bet the order book that the Chinese, the CCP, and the people at Boeing, who are very smart and hire former ambassadors, have all said to each other,
I'll let you know.
There's a non-zero probability, a most likely opportunity that the order book and the way we do business is going to stay exactly the same.
What we're seeing with a lot of these big corporate CEOs, companies like Target, companies like Walmart, companies like, other companies in defense, like GE Aerospace, many of these CEOs are meeting with the White House, they're meeting with the president, and they're coming out of those meetings appearing to be a lot calmer. And in fact, this was reported by...
and the scary thing, and...
Totally, Core. Definitely. There's no 7-Eleven in New Zealand? Really? Do you have like a little, is there like a local chain? Oh my God, Kayla. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, wait. I got to get my pen and paper. 1 second. I'll be BRB. I'm going to play the video. And I also wanted to know, Dwayne, if there is like a local, like a New Zealand version of a store like that. Oh, Bonbon is gone and she wants to play. Okay, let me turn off the Bonbon cam. She's up. She's awake, you guys. Bonbon is wide awake. You're going to hear some squeaking. I'm going to grab the raffle tickets. Hi. Yes.
And we don't know now because we have no more insight into anything that happens in our government, and we're living in an unprecedented age of corruption. The thing we don't know is, are these people coming away feeling confident because they feel like the tariffs are going away, or are they coming away confident because they feel like they managed to cut a deal with this administration that's going to give them a competitive edge? But because of the current structure of our government and because of the moral failings of our current government, we literally have absolutely no way of knowing the answer to that at all. So,
Charles Gasparino at Fox Business, the administration at the White House is actually actively alerting Wall Street executives. They're reaching out and telling them that they are nearing agreements on these trade deals, which is a very interesting dynamic that we're now entering into a market and a world.
I don't believe that unless I hear, because this administration has also proven that they will lie about anything, which they've done. I don't know. I wouldn't believe that we're nearing any trade agreement unless another country confirms it first, because Trump has said multiple times now, I think, that
It's a party,
China
guys.
and them have been talking or whatever, and I think China's literally just come out and denied it.
Maybe I need to order different treats more often. I feel like it gets people super excited. This is awesome. I got my raffle tickets.
And say, no, we haven't spoken to this admin at all. That's just not true.
Oops.
So I don't even know. No, it's not. No, I don't know. I'm saying I don't even know. We can't even trust the current admin that they are near anything, even if they say they are.
It's like that.
We're actually the heads of the largest corporations and the heads on Wall Street, they're getting a heads up, and they're able to front run the largest news item of our time. Now, you could say, that this has happened in the past, but I don't think at the level that we're seeing today. Usually it would be that with very highly sensitive economic data like this, there is a protocol, and the White House comes out and they publicly announce it, and you give markets an equal time, an equal footing to react to what is happening. But it appears that there's such a level of disorganization in the White House, and
corruption.
They're so freaked out by how the markets are reacting. It feels as if what is happening is the administration is having no choice but to call the big dogs of the Fortune 500 and say, hey, just don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. And that's a material information right there. I mean, that is ground zero for insider trading.
He has been beating markets consistently at Destiny. I guess he is a genius. Who Paul Pelosi has? I mean, you can link me something showing it if you want, but it has to be from a non-retarded website.
It hasn't actually happened yet, but we all know that the line between fair trading versus insider trading is very blurry, and we are in an incredibly blurry time right now. And we'll talk more about that in our main story when we really focus on these tariffs. Let's just move on to this new data on wealth inequality. The top 19 households minting $1 trillion in wealth last year. Biggest single year increase in history. They now own, those top 19 households now own 1.8% of the entire.
Okay, maybe we will, maybe we'll do a raffle poll once a month. This is great. I'm writing like the name. I'll fill them in later because otherwise it just takes me forever and my head is just down the whole time. But I'm just putting the first one down so that I know, and the number of tickets that you guys got. Thank you. Supporting the club, supporting my crumble cookie. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First crumble cookie taste test. We're gonna see what we think, what I think, at least. I'm excited. I've just watched so many people eat them, and you know what I'll do? Here's what I will end up doing with them. I'll eat my little bites, and then I'm gonna freeze them. I'm gonna wrap them up really nicely and just freeze them in pieces, and I don't know, whatever. Okay, so Dwayne says, no, there's no 7-Elevens, no local chain in New Zealand. We have corner convenience stores that we call dairies, but they are not chains as such like a 7-Eleven. Dwayne, what treats, what are the snacks in New Zealand? I want to know. I want to know. Okay, but now, if I do that, maybe I can make this a little smaller. Because my face is getting a little cut off. The cookies make me feel better about the chat. We got to talk about it, but a cookie eases the sting. I know. It's true. This is so informative, said Amy. So glad I heard you speak on High on Homegrown. Oh my God. I'm loving the content. I'm binge watching. Thanks, Amy. That's really cool. I need to post about that. I've been bad about posting about the podcast, but it's been really awesome. Like High on Homegrown and what was it called? Bite Size. Had really awesome podcasts recently, and I feel like if I don't post about it, they don't people don't know about them. Like my community doesn't know about them, but it's cool because then I get to meet other people who are obviously into cannabis. But this is a little, I don't always talk about politics in my stream, but you know, we talk about timely things. You probably will talk about Mother's Day next week or something like that, right? So, and right now what's timely is like what's going on with the shitcoin and what's going on with our ports and what's going on with Made in America. And we smoke weed and I eat stuff. So yes, freeze desserts. Freeze desserts.
Household wealth in
ice
America.
cream.
That's up from 0.1% in 1982. By the way, the bottom 50% of Americans, they own 3% of the household wealth. So you got half of America with 3% and the top 19 households with 1.8%. There are now 1,990 billionaires in America, and that number is up 45% since 2021, just 4 years ago. So
wild.
we talk a lot about income inequality and also wealth inequality on this podcast. And here we have some new data, which is just telling us the same thing. We are a massively unequal society.
Well, to stick to the moral argument, it's bad for the economy. And that is when all of that prosperity is being crowded into the 0.01%. One, I don't think they have as much of a vested interest in public infrastructure and the well-being and prosperity of America. Do they have a vested interest in our healthcare system? No. Do they even have a vested interest in our national security? Because at the end of the day, they can peace out to New Zealand or Dubai or... One
thing, I don't know if we heard this on, it was one of Scott's shows or something else, but somebody mentioned this, and I just don't know the names of all these things, so I wouldn't be able to say, but I mean, it was said that it's kind of sad that older billionaires or older elites in society, the way that they left their footprint in American society was by investing in like elite, like academic institutions or elite cultural institutions or icons to like leave their mark.
Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I want to keep watching this, but we're kind of going too far into the stream with this topic, and we have more topics to talk about this evening. I feel like we understand what's going on with I know he's going to talk about the tariffs, but I feel like we understand what's going on with the shitcoin. Well, too late on this poll. Anyone who's voting no, because where did my mouse go? I already ordered it. Oops. Oh, and I don't want the top chat. I want... What have I been missing? Main problem is we've lost purchasing power and wages haven't matched the rate of inflation, massively over leveraged, combined with population collapse as a byproduct. Yeah. True that. That is true. That's why they want us to have more babies. And I talked about this in the beginning of the sesh. If you want us to have more babies, you need to make it safe for us to have babies. And that means that we have access to abortion rights and we have all the options that we want for our bodies. Because, you know, it's important. It's important. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to look at the ports, right? Right. Let me grab it. Let's look at this.
On this
Feel like
episode
it
of What's
nerdy.
Going On with Shipping, are U.S. ports empty? I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano, and welcome to today's episode. So 4 years ago, we started this channel when the Ever Given went sideways in the Suez. But shortly thereafter, after the ship was freed and we were talking about what's going on in the Suez, one of my viewers, and I wish I knew who it was, recommended, hey, there's more ships out there. Why don't you start talking about them? And so we delved into the topic of the global supply chain crisis. You may remember back at a time when there were 109 ships anchored off the port of LA and Long Beach, and we covered kind of the trials and tribulations of that port with some great videos talking about how to get out of the port of LA, the escape from the port of LA, and then when the ships did disappear, where did all the ships go? And we really started delving into the global supply chain crisis. Well, it's back, and it's back in a big way. President Trump's tariffs, along with a whole slew of other issues, the U.S. Trade Representative's proposals on port fees for Chinese-built, Chinese-owned ships, issues with ports around the world, potential tariffs and fees on Chinese cranes and Chinese containers, all of that is creating a new disruption across global shipping. And whenever you have disruption across global shipping, that means higher rates and higher costs. We've seen it with Ever Given in the Suez. We saw it with the global supply chain crisis. We saw it with the Houthi in the Red Sea. We've seen it with the shutdown in the port of Baltimore when the Dolly took out the bridge. And now we're seeing it with these tariffs. I want to break this down because there is a lot of talk out there. And I want to make it so that you can understand, if you are a shipper, if you are moving goods, if you're a consumer, what is going to happen next because of these tariffs. Because you may not be seeing costs right now, but that doesn't mean they're not going to happen. If you're new to the channel, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so be alerted about new videos as they come out. Let's take a look at some headlines out there. These are coming off of GCapt, and this is a Bloomberg story. For an increasing number of Chinese exporters.
Okay, so we're just kind of jumping into this. So let me kind of introduce what we're talking about. Sorry, Bonbon is right here. Yeah. Hi. Yes. Thank you. All right, so we're talking about the tariffs, right? Ultimately is what we're talking about, Trump's tariffs. If you've been wondering why everything's more expensive, all of these import fees is what they're calling them. Amazon supposedly was going to put the tariff prices on every item, and then, would you want down? Oops. It's okay, Bonbon. Go lay down on your bed. That's enough. Anyway, you can thank Trump's tariffs for increased prices, basically. He's trying to say now it's residual from Biden, but it's not. And we're going to see what's happening with the ports right now. Just want to make sure the chat is still up to date. There we go. So basically, our port's sitting empty. And what's happening with the ships that usually are coming into Los Angeles?
Many of whom battled through the trade war in President Trump's first term, and who have invested years to capture the spending power of American shoppers, it may be closing time in the U.S. With tariffs on Chinese imports at 145%, factories that make items like coffee machines and yoga pants have halted shipments to the U.S. and have idled their assembly lines to a 3 or 4 day week. Then you get this story from Hauppauge. Hauppauge Lloyd customers. Hauppauge is one of the largest ocean carriers out there. They're in alliance with Maersk, the Gemini Corporation. Hauppauge Lloyd customers have canceled 30% of their shipments to the United States from China, spooked by the trade conflict between the world's two largest economies. Instead, there's been a, quote, massive increase, unquote, in demand for consignments from Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. This article over CNBC, and I know people has views about different news outlets, but Lorianne Larocco is one of the best maritime reporters out there. U.S. ports, Los Angeles, Long Beach, see steep drop. These are the three main points that Lorianne has in that story. The number of Chinese freight vessels heading to both ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, the top destination for Asian freight, has dropped sharply. The trade war between China and the U.S. is leading to a demand
Where'd everyone
plummet,
go?
and ocean carriers have started to suspend or adjust trans-Pacific services. According to one logistics expert, quote, "We are at a tipping point on the West Coast." So understanding this, about 40% of all the containers imported into the United States, and we're talking in the range of over 20 million containers a year, 40% of them come in from China. And of all the containers that come into the United States, about half of them come into the LA Long Beach complex. It is the largest marine terminals we have in the United States. Obviously, Trans-Pacific, LA and Long Beach is an obvious choice. However, with the new lane of the Panama Canal that opened in 2016, we started to see, starting in 2017, a shift over to the East and Gulf Coast. That was accentuated back when we had the supply chain back up, and when everything backed up at LA and Long Beach, cargo started going more through the Panama Canal. And then we had labor issues on the West Coast. We were in the midst of a labor renegotiation with the ILWU. So we saw everything shifting to the...
Here's what I gotta say. If you guys want me to show you how to cook beans, dried beans, we can do that. I can show you how to cook dried beans. I did this food styling gig. Actually, I just saw the commercial the other day on, it's like for Universal Studio, like, what is it for? I don't remember what it was for, but I had to buy all these dried beans to fill this table, this Viking table with food. And I cooked them all recently, all of them. And they're really hearty, and they are very inexpensive, and they last for a long time. Hi, Jose Maria. How are you? I know, Pete. Isn't it wild that people don't understand the tariffs cost is on us? Core, I'm gonna eat some brown butter chocolate chip cookies with flakes. All yum. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna eat these crumble cookies. They should be here pretty soon, actually.
To the East and Gulf Coast. Matter of fact, over 50% of cargo was going to the East and Gulf Coast.
I know.
That has since kind of returned back to where it was. And so LA in particularly is a good bellwether for us to measure what's going on with cargo coming from China.
Go get a toy.
So I really want to focus on this story from Mike Schiller. Those of you who don't know, Mike is an excellent marine reporter over at G-Captain, does top-notch work. This story, industry leaders warn of supply chain crisis as Trump tariffs hit U.S.-China trade. So in this story, Mike looked at three kind of...
Wait. Amen FC, if you use a steel pot to make can of butter, how hard is it to clean? The pot? Not hard at all. You don't, I mean, like, you could do it that way. I think the best way, the method in my cookbook is to use a double boiler, bain marie. Just because you want to control the temperature. If you heat butter, if there's a brown butter recipe too, if you want to do it faster, infuse quickly. But both of them are not difficult to clean. Either method. Soap and water, a good scrub. Bonbon, can you go get a toy if you want me to play with you? Go get a toy. We're doing something. Go get your sloth. No, go get a toy. Don't argue with me. Go get a toy. She's going to start barking when these people come.
Leading advocates in the maritime industry and looked at data that they are putting out.
Oh.
First,
the used pot. Yeah, it's not hard to clean. Soap and water. Why? Like anyway.
There was this thread from Ryan Peterson, the CEO of Flexport. It's gotten a little bit of traction here as this tweet has gotten 2.7 million views since it went out on April 23rd. In the 3 weeks since the tariffs took effect, ocean container bookings from China to the United States are down over 60%
60%.
industry-wide. Now, you have to be careful
60.
about that stat. 60%. So,
Oh.
so trades down 60% from China. No, the bookings coming out of China are down 60%. And we're looking at week-to-week numbers here. So it doesn't mean we've dropped 60% of overall trade from China. What we're seeing here is a reduction in the amount of bookings coming out of China to the U.S., down 60%. Now, that's nothing to sneeze at. That is a huge number. It is massive. However, you have to be a little bit of context here to understand what is being said. So Ryan goes on with this thread, $600 billion worth of goods from China every year, 95% via ocean freight. These goods sell at a retail of about $2 trillion. If the tariff on China continues at that level, we will see a $2 trillion hit to economic activity in our country. We will also have mass shortages this summer as the goods don't show up. Remember, when you hit that Amazon button on your phone and things show up at your house a day or two later, those goods have been moving for 4 to 6 months prior to this. And so when the tariffs went
So there's like a stockpile, right? Right now we have inventory. There's inventory here. Amazon has different hubs around wherever you live, different places. Obviously not everywhere, but pretty much. And they're stockpiled. But now that the tariffs have hit, like, I don't know how this is going to affect my cookbook either, which I'm going to drop that in the link. Would be a good time to buy it, is what I got to say.
went into effect in early April, those ships were already getting ready to sail. And what we're going to look at is where ships are on the Trans-Pacific route, because it's really important to take a look at that too. So Ryan is making a big point here. The impact we're going to start seeing here isn't in April. It's going to be in May and June where we start feeling that crunch. He goes here, companies stocked up on inventory in anticipation of April 2nd, so it will take a while before the shortages hit. Exactly true. What we saw was a massive front loading in the first quarter of this year. So, for example, the Port of LA had over an extra 50,000 TEUs come in above and beyond what they normally have. And so the first quarter in LA is the best quarter they've had since last year, which was a record year, and before 2021, which was the record year. So, I mean, ports had big first quarters. With bookings down 65%, ocean carriers canceled 25% of their sailings from China the last 2 weeks. All right, I'm going to differ a bit here with Ryan's stats. I'm not exactly sure where he's pulling that number. The last report by Drewry's had a 10% cancellation so far. If we break down this data a little bit more here, you'll see this is as of 18 April. The east-west trade lanes, Trans-Pacific, Transatlantic, and the Asia, North, Europe, and Med, out of 713 sailings between 21 April and 25 May, 72 sailings have been canceled. That is 10%. However, Drewy is predicting that over the next 5 weeks, the large majority of those cancellations will be on the Trans-Pacific eastbound, and we're waiting to get the next stats here. We should be getting a report the next day or two on an update on these.
Wait, I want to read these comments. So years ago, it got too sticky after, so I think I had to decommission that pot. Oh, shit. I didn't realize. Okay, maybe after like repeated use, but just really scrub it after. There should never be any kind of residual in the pot, but I don't know what kind of pot you're using. What happens when it runs out? You know, Petra, I think before that happens, he's going to pull back on the tariffs is what I think. And he's going to say, like I said before, I'm the deal maker. I'm the king of the deals. No one makes a better deal than me. And he's going to tell us all the deals he made, and his numbers are going to be as inflated as his ego. And, anyway. You'll own nothing and be happy, aka gig and subscription-based economy. How does one obtain wealth in those conditions? They don't. Where's the dog? I think she's in the bedroom. Carl Schwab. Highly recommend watching Common Side Effects on HBO. Okay, I'll check it out. Real cartoon satire harkens back to why cartoon strips were created in the first place. Cool. Give me that. One of her toys. Okay. Hell yeah, Vanessa, you might like it. It was so refreshing. Okay. I'll check it out.
These cancellations. Ryan notes here that we expect to see a bullwhip effect here as Trump relaxes the tariffs. Got a story on that here in a minute. All those cancel orders get rebooked, creating a huge surge, and this is going to cause havoc in the ports. Ports don't like it when you have these pulses happen, these ups and downs, because the facilities in the port, particularly the ability to get the cargo out of the port, the drayage, the short haul trucking, the rail have set capacities, and when you pulse it like that, it doesn't result very well. He goes on here, the result will be a surge pricing on ocean, perhaps higher than we saw in 2024 with the Red Sea being cut off. Let's remember, what we saw was a massive spike in costs and rates because of
Hi, I am Sayer. Welcome to the Sesh. We're deep into it. We're at are the U.S. ports empty? You know what impact? We're watching this video right now, and then we're gonna go into what is made in America, and I'm gonna eat some cookies, and then that's gonna be the end of the Sesh.
A supply chain crisis. It was dropping off a cliff coming out of the end of 2023. Matter of fact, rates were down to pre-COVID levels, and then the Houthi struck. And the Houthi, not because they're hitting vessels, but because of the threat of them hitting vessels, caused rates to go around Africa, and that spiked ocean carrying rates. And while we haven't seen a huge spike in inflation because of that, we have seen an increase in costs. Ryan goes on, when this happens, air freight rates also surge. About 1% of ocean freight volume can be converted to air. The problem with air freight is, number one, capacity. Number two is the availability of aviation fuel, which is always at a premium. That creates some problems. It's definitely, as Ryan says here, a strange time in logistics. We have to plan for the unimaginable. And fortunately, one of the things that you have is companies like Flexport and Project 44 and a few others that I'm aware of that do this kind of management that you should be thinking about if you're trying to haul freight around. So Ryan was one of the three people that Mike Scholler mentioned in his report. The second one was John McCowan over at Blue Alpha Capital. He puts out a monthly report, and his March report just hit.
I get it.
March volumes up 11.2%, but major macro challenges ahead. 11.2% March inbound increase as boxes return to double-digit gains. 2.2% increase in outbound containers.
But I did start my high-intensity interval training again. You like it, Liberty Genetics? Okay, good. I think it's very interesting. I like to see the stats, right? It's good.
As they keep bouncing around. Tariffs and the planned U.S. trade rep ship fees have the sector facing volatility, and I think John is underselling that. I want to come here to John's last statement in his report. It's worth remembering that container shipping is a system with multiple interconnecting segments, and it works most efficiently when it is operating at a consistent rhythm. Anything that disturbs that equilibrium injects inefficiency and unnecessary costs into those systems. Unfortunately, many of the actions that have already occurred have disturbed that equilibrium and injected uncertainty and even chaos into that system. It remains unclear how this will play out along the spectrum of both container volume and inflation. Does a fantastic job in reporting this, and if you're not following John McCowan on LinkedIn, getting his reports, you really should be, because they are great indicators of what's about to happen. The third person in Mike Schuller's piece is Craig Fuller, the CEO over at FreightWaves. His company does a system called Sonar. It's an analysis of looking at different metrics in shipping. But one of the measurements that Craig noted yesterday was year-over-year trucking activity out of Los Angeles. So one of the measurements they do at Sonar is look at what they call tender volume index. And that's looking at basically bookings out of Port of LA. He talked about the fact that it's down 23%, will likely drop to 50% in the coming weeks if there isn't a trade war resolution. Massive layoffs coming to the West Coast trucking sector. So if you look at these two lines, the green line is last year, 2024. This whiter gray line is 2025. And the beginning quarter here matched up pretty well. And what you tend to see is an increase here in Q2, peaking in Q3, and then after October dropping off, and then nearly dropping off the cliff as a result of the post-Christmas holiday, and then typically the Chinese New Year. But what you're seeing here is levels at basically post-Christmas, post-Chinese New Year right now. And that's an indication that we are going to see less drayage, short-haul trucking needed coming out of LA. Now, the question is that going to be a short-term issue or a long-term issue? But it has an impact nevertheless. It is not expected, and that is going to cause problems. So those three, indicators right there, those three personnel there, give you a kind of a good indication there. But I want to give you some measurements and metrics you should be looking at. So first, Trump is floating that the tariff deal may change here. And so we're getting mixed signals like we always do out of the administration right now. Trump is saying one thing, his Secretary of Commerce is saying another thing. We're just not sure what is going to happen. But what we have seen is that Trump likes to fire an opening salvo to get some results and then make changes. And I think that's where we're at right now. Unfortunately, this opening salvo is having huge costs across the economic spectrum. So this is the daily signal output from the port.
I'm sorry. I totally spaced out right now. So, my bad.
Port of Los Angeles. It is posted daily. You can get it in your email or you can just download it. This is showing you what is coming in and out of the port of LA. Now, LA is one half of the LA Long Beach complex, but LA is the larger one when it comes to containers, but not by much. This shows you 13 vessels on berth. The average time on berth is 4.2 days. That is exceptionally long in port because of the amount of cargo that comes off ships in LA and Long Beach, unlike most other ports where you offload 20 to 40% of the cargo. At LA, it's anywhere from 80 to 100%. There are 94 total planned vessels with a total planned container over the next couple of weeks of 211,000. When you get into the details here a bit, what you see is week 17, the week ending April 26, is up over 56%. That is largely due because those ships coming in are coming in prior to the tariff. If you had sailed prior to the implementation of the tariff, you were booked on ship, you are not paying that tariff. Week 18, you're seeing that impact, 10% down, and then week 19, 32% down. Now, I will tell you that the week 19 was much higher here in terms of that. We were at almost 50% downward of numbers here, but that number has been ticking back up. And when you look at this, you can actually break down the number of vessels. You can actually see vessels that are coming in here. So, for example, CMA CGM George Washington coming in. You can look down here at other vessels. YM Anonymity, I'm not going to say that right, I apologize, coming in. You can see where these ships are, and if you head over to marine traffic, you can see I cleaned up marine traffic. This is just showing you ships that are crossing the Pacific right now with a port of LA as their destination. So right here is that CMA CGM George Washington out of Asia right now, heading across. If we look over here, here's the Everfront. Here's that CM Anonymity.
Shit. Isn't this cool? Isn't it cool? You can see all the ships, the cargo ships
coming across. So this is one of those vessels that are heading out, and we're starting to see some vessels coming out of East Asia right now.
Very cool.
Zim Albatross coming out, Matson Magnolia, the Porto, and then the CMA CGM White Shark. We will not see all the vessels yet out of East Asia because they're making shuttle runs. It is not until they leave their final port and declare LA as their destination.
I don't think people
do they show up here. They take that big arching great circle route across the Pacific here and are heading into LA. So I did a video not too long ago where I talked about our ships turning around. They're not turning around. What we're seeing is what's called blank sailings, where the vessels, the scheduled sailings are being canceled. Right. As I mentioned before, about 10%. Port of LA shows you their services that come across by alliances, so you can track this. So, for example, the Ocean Alliance, which is CMA, CGM, the French line, Costco, the Chinese line, and Evergreen, the Taiwanese line, have 4 regular loops that provide
Okay, my cookies are here, you guys. 1 second.
service. The Premier Alliance, that's Yang Min, it's HMM, it's ONE. They have a series of services that are provided. Gemini, which is Maersk and Hapag, have 4 different routes that come in, and then there's a variety of different independent routes that come in. And what we're seeing is some of those are being canceled. So some of the sales, they're not ending the service. They're just not having a vessel arrive in a given time period. So they're blanking that sale and they're shifting that cargo either onto other vessels, consolidating them, or just...
Okay, you guys, the time has come. So I want to show you how it came. I'm going to go back. We'll come back to this, but we need a break. It's cookie time. Am I loud enough? It's cookie time. We're going to go to the Club main. Let me see if I can fix the bonbon cam. Okay, so we have, oh no, where did my, oh, it's right here, I'm sitting on it. Okay. Yay, cookies. So, crumble, right? Hi, welcome to the stream. Let me get this over here. We love it. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let me open this. Ooh. That was nice. Okay. Is this what they do? I don't have any nails. I cut my nails because I'm in the kitchen. Oh, oh. Oh. Trying to show you without spilling. I'm going to show you them one at a time. I think that's the most respectful thing to do for these very expensive cookies. And I'm just going to use my hands. So let me get some paper towel. Sadly, I don't have any milk, but we're going to go for this. First, we're going to try the brookie. This is a brownie cookie. Okay. I want to make sure you guys can see. I like the division. We're going to break it right in this way. So we get a little bit of both, which it doesn't want to do, right? Because the two doughs are just separate doughs, but okay, cute. And I feel like the appropriate thing to do here is like, I want to eat them together. That's fucking ridiculous. That's amazing. I told you I'm taking one bite of each. Next up, the carrot cake. Oh, shit. God damn it. I'm careful picking this one up. I should have kept the box like in my lap. Okay, so now we have the carrot cake that broke. So let me do it justice. I'm gonna have to clean my floor after this. So that's okay. Okay. Keep in mind this was delivered, so it's not, you know, there's, how can I twist this so you can see it? Nice swirl on top. Okay, I'm gonna split. Okay. Messy. Flavor feels moist. I like it. Okay, if we're scoring it, the brookie was an 8.5 out of 10. Okay. The carrot cake was like a 7.8. It's good. It's moist. I like my family's carrot cake more. Like the cream cheese frosting. It's just a little too sweet for me. But it's good. Okay, let's keep going. That's why I'm only taking a bite of these. So this is the strawberry sugar cookie, whatever. Okay. Thick with frosting. Thick in general. Someone called me that recently. Should not be eating these cookies. Okay, there's some sort of strawberry filling in the middle. We're into it. We're excited. Let me try this. I think for strawberry lovers, that's quite enjoyable. It's very, I want to try more of the, I'm taking a second bite. I know I said I wouldn't. I'm just going to take a little one. It's a little cloyingly sweet. All of them are, but this one in particular, because it's strawberry, it is really sweet. I would say this one gets like a 6.2 from me. It's not my favorite, and I love strawberry. That's my favorite gelato flavor. Fragola, whatever. Okay. Final one is dulce de leche. This one is also messy. It's caramel. Let me show you what we're working with. These are like cake cookies, right? They're like cookies, but just monsters. Let's break it in half if we can. Make sure you're in focus. All right. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to eat this whole fucking cookie. This is the last one, the dulce de leche. I feel like I have to get some of this bullshit on top here. All right, this is ridiculous. This is going to be really sweet. All right. That gets like a 3.2, maybe lower, because it is so sweet. It made my eyes twirl back. This for me, if I could just get the brookie, I'm going to take one more little bite. Okay, get these out of my face. I tried them. Okay. Interesting. You know, very sweet. Wishing I had a glass of milk. Okay. Educational. Don't recommend the dulce de leche. I would just get the brookie. Wow. So I'm definitely going to freeze those. And honestly, what I might do, like with the, all right, let's go back. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to be doing this. Oh, I haven't been full screen this whole time. Ugh, I'm a mess. Brookie is the winner, for sure. For sure. Let's go back to the browser. Sorry. I feel I need a drink. You know what I need? Because I actually can feel the sugar. I need this glass. I'm going to pour this out. Sorry, you guys. Ugh. Sorry about that. This is called psyllium husk. This is called psyllium husk. Alrighty. Pete, it's okay. You know what? We needed one reaction like that, right?
Ending that service for that temporary period, and they're resuming it with the next run. And what we're seeing is those cancellations are having the impact. So one of the things I strongly recommend is head over to the Port of LA website. They have excellent information. Like I said, you can get that signal sent to you every day. This is their cargo operation.
You don't know about that. 1 second. I am not selling this. I'm not sponsored. Although I could probably put it in my Amazon store. Maybe it is. This is called psyllium husk, and it's basically It's fiber. It's fiber. So I'm just trying to I ate a bunch of sugar. I don't know exactly how it works, but in my mind, here's how I think of it. It's exactly what Amen said. It's reducing the insulin response, fiber. So it's just a husk of a grain, right? Psyllium. And it helps you basically, you're going to be like, TMI, Vanessa, I don't want to think about this. Gross. Helps you form your poop, your stools. And it is good for your intestines, for your biome, because what I just ate is total garbage for my insides. So, yeah. Yeah, and I just put it in water. What did you mix it in? I mixed it in a cold glass of water because I'm a savage like that, and I just chug it down. All right, we're going to keep watching this.
Dashboard. It is full of information. I'll have the link here in the show.
Oh,
you can get the daily operation report, what's going
Chill
on
out, Bonbon.
daily in the port. It provides you a nice little graphic here that shows you
loud.
all the details, what's expected, how many ships are at berth in the port, how many are basically waiting off the port, how many are...
Petra, it's kind of like chia seed where it gets like a jelly around it. So if you wait to drink it, it's not as easy to drink. So I just create like a tornado, with the spoon and just knock it back. And then it'll create that jelly in my stomach and it'll go around all of that sugary shit, hopefully, and poop it out. That's the goal.
in route. So, for example, as of Wednesday, there's 45 ships, 27 going into LA, 18 into Long Beach, with approximately 400,000 TEUs of cargo coming in. How long cargo is...
Yeah, that's like one of the things, like, with kids, like the instinct is to give kids juice because you're like, oh, it's healthy. But juice actually is not healthy. It's just sugar water. It's a different flavored fructose, and there's other nutrients in it, but it's not, like, in high amounts, it's not good for you because you're taking out the fiber of eating the fruit itself.
Is dwelling, just a lot of good information. One measurement we used a lot here on the channel was the import container dwell report. This is...
Did you guys like that? I'm going to poll you. Did you enjoy the eating? Should I eat something every session? And should the club vote for what I eat on? What I eat in the Wednesday sesh?
Containers on the yards in the terminals of the Port of LA. You can see the massive spike that happened here during the supply chain crisis. Got back down to normal, but then you saw these spikes here happen last year, and then this massive spike that just happened here in March. That was a big influx of containers coming in as part of the onrush prior to the front loading that took place just before the initiation of the tariffs coming in. A lot of this earlier one had to do with the shifting of cargo over to the West Coast because of the port strike in the East and Gulf Coast with the ILA. Show you some numbers here. This is the Port of LA's last monthly container count. So this includes the month of March. And what you'll see here in 2025, the loaded imports was 385.5 thousand containers in. That's over the previous year, 379.5 thousand. So it's a 1.58% increase. If you look at the calendar year, 2.5 million containers versus 2.4 million containers, that's up 5.2%. So the first quarter of the year is definitely showing an uptick. The question is what happens in the the second quarter. When you look at annual numbers here, again, go back to 2020. You saw that 9.2 million. That was down for over the past 3 years previously. But then the biggest year ever in 2021, down in 2022, down in 2023, and then a massive spike in 2024. So you got to be careful when you hear people talk about year-to-year numbers right now, because LA had an exceptionally good year last year. It was up to its second highest year. So again, I'm not minimizing the damage being done here, but we have to be careful about quantifying the damage. And just so you're not overly reliant on the Port of LA, this is the Port of New York, New Jersey. Again, marine traffic showing you vessels that are calling in the Port of New York, New Jersey. You can see that line of container ships coming around from Africa. This is fairly
I'm going to
new.
have
This
the
is
club
because
decide.
of the shift that we saw happen as a result of the Houthi. Typically, those containers were coming out of Europe through the Med, but now we have vessels going directly there. So, for example, you'll see these type of vessels coming in. Not the biggest vessels in the world, but they are coming in. So we're seeing vessels. So here's Maersk, Hartford coming in.
Those vessels are
and
so
then
big.
Vessels coming up along the east and Gulf Coast up to the Port of New York. When we look at New York,
do you think this will be good for the environment, though?
New York's numbers here, very similar to what we see on the West Coast. Here's the February numbers. You'll see the number of containers is up in terms of loaded containers. We're up over 9% in February 2025 to 2024. So you are seeing that front loading in the first quarter. So again, got to be careful about a lot of the data out there. There are some great analysis out there, but you got to put it into context. There was a lot of charts going out talking about, wow, 60% bookings down. That was from week to week. That was from the week prior to the tariff to the week the tariff was initiated. And a lot of people shipping cargo said, we're going to hold off. We're going to wait and see a week or two to see what happens.
We'll see what really happens.
What we have to see is what this new round of tariff negotiations results in, and how well people have stocked their warehouses. There are plenty of manufacturers and distributors out there who had not have the ability to stock up. They just don't have that ability.
Right.
They're operating on just-in-time logistics.
They don't have the money,
and any disruption
to
as we're
have that
seeing
kind
right
of
now
inventory.
is going to cost them money. If they have got to add 145% tariff to the cost of their goods, that's going to drive out a lot of businesses. And we can expect to see some closures and some bankruptcies and some massive disruptions if this continues in the long term. Right now, you're probably not seeing anything on the shelves yet, but that's going to come as we see these disruptions take place. If there's not enough stockpiling in warehouses, now a lot of things have changed with warehousing and the ability to store goods. A lot of changes happened since 2021, 2022. Warehouse management has gotten smarter. People are storing things not just on the West Coast, but throughout the United States.
Wow, that's
so
good.
It's really going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Down.
But in the short term, especially in the ports of LA, Long Beach, if we're not seeing that same level of business in the second quarter that we typically see in the first quarter, that's going to impact drayage, it's going to impact rail, it's going to impact everything. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell
Sal
to be
is
alerted
his
about new
name.
videos as they come out. Leave a comment, share it across social media, and if you can, support the page. How do you do that?
Sal Mercoliano. Sal Mercoliano. Yeah, that's that yee sound. Okay, so I want to do one more. I'm just like, I haven't looked at this, okay? Let's see where we can watch. Let's look at this. Okay, let me line this up. Great stream, first time watching, loving the content. Cool, thanks, nerdy. Glad you like it. This is what I do on Wednesdays. Sometimes it's political. Often it's political. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just like, shooting the shit, whatever. Obviously, I love to eat things. And I can work out so I can take bites of cookies and such. But LA is a big town, so there's lots of fun things I can order. I should invite friends over sometime. Anyway, let's keep going. We're going to finish up our sesh today with what's actually made in America. Spoiler, not much. You know, made in the USA, it's a label that you can see a lot on items, and even if you do see it, it doesn't always guarantee that it's actually made in the USA. It could, you know, just like luxury hand goods, they won't admit to this, but it'll be manufactured in China, and then maybe the final label is sewn on in Italy or somewhere, and then they slap on made in Italy. So student debt, you want me to take that one on next time is what you're saying? We can talk about student debt. Student debt is, yeah, not good. Nice. I'm based in Sacramento. Hello from NorCal. Cool. I used to live in the Bay Area for a very long time. I went up to Sacramento when I got my Italian citizenship paperwork done. Just plain debt in general. Okay. That's what you guys want me to talk about? Right. I mean, it's made in, right. All right, let's see what this, I haven't seen this video, so I want to see what this is about. We're not going to
On this episode of What's Going On with Shipping, our U.S.
Oh, wait, no, we already watched this. Sorry, 1 second. It didn't copy. Copy link address. Let's see. First time as well, Kayla.
Where things are really made in the U.S.
Kayla, this is your first time and you gave such a generous super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is my sesh. Okay, so Wednesdays, just so you know, if this is your first time here. One, I'm Vanessa Lavarado. I don't know if you know me, but I'm an edible maker. I work in the cannabis industry. I just published a cookbook, How to Eat Weed and Have a Good Time. It's out. It's everywhere. I can put that in the link in there too, because it's an excellent cookbook if you enjoy edibles. That's what I do. I teach people how to make edibles. So Saturdays, right? Saturdays are the kitchen sesh. This is the club sesh. Kitchen sesh is on Saturday, 1:20 p.m. It's 4:20 somewhere, and Pacific. I'm based in Los Angeles, and I cook an infused recipe for everybody live, and it's really fun. And we're trying to figure out how to do it because I have a Patreon, the Edibles Club, and that's what I'm polling right now, asking like, hey, are you a member of my Patreon, the Edibles Club? Because that's where we hang out after these sessions. We have a group chat. We have, it's really about the group chat. There's also a Discord as well. And then I have kind of like Zoom hangouts on Discord, video hangouts after the Saturday kitchen sesh, which is fun because I'm usually pretty baked. But it's cool. Maybe the digital dollar agenda and control grid next time. Howard Lutnick will come up. Okay.
On this channel, we've shown you how the things you use every day are made. The machines behind your morning coffee, the steps that turn raw cotton into clothing, and even what it takes to make a simple chocolate bar.
Right.
But today, we're flipping the question. Because it's not just about how things are made, it's about where they're made. In this video, we're taking you on a journey across the United States, from the heart of Texas to the hills of Pennsylvania, from massive car factories to the places making tiny tech parts that power your phone. These are the real sites where America's most iconic products come to life. Some of them have been running for over 100 years. Others are so new, they're changing what manufacturing looks like altogether. So whether it's a Ford truck, a Hershey's Kiss, or a tube of chapstick, we're going to show you exactly where it's built, who's making it, and why these places still matter. And if you're watching this from the US, we'd love to know. Drop a comment with your city and state. Who knows? One of these factories might be just down the road from you. Let's get started. Ford F-150. Most of us have either driven a Ford truck, know someone who has one, or seen them on the road almost every day. They're everywhere, but not many people know where they actually come from. That place is Dearborn, Michigan, just outside Detroit. This is home to the Ford Rouge complex, one of the oldest and largest car factories in the country. It was set up way back in 1917 by none other than Henry Ford himself. The original idea? Build everything in one spot. Steel, glass, engines, the whole thing. It was a game changer for how cars were made. Fast forward to today, and this is where the F-150, the most popular vehicle in America, is still being built. Not in pieces or outsourced steps. Right here. Every day, over 1,000 F-150s roll off the line inside this massive complex. But this isn't some smoky, noisy factory from the old days. Things have changed a lot. The Rouge plant now runs with smart robotics, self-driving carts that move parts around the floor, and even a huge green roof that helps with temperature control. It's cleaner, quieter, and a lot more efficient than you'd expect. One of the engineers described it best. The factory's evolved just like the trucks have. Smarter, stronger, and made to last. It's not just about cranking out vehicles. It's about keeping production in the US, using American steel, and supporting thousands of workers who've spent their lives building something that people rely on every day. And that's really what makes this place matter. It's not just where trucks are made, it's where a big part of daily American life begins. Now, we're heading to Texas, where some of the tiniest but most important pieces of tech are made: iPhone chips. Most of us carry a smartphone around all day, but here's something a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, but
the tiny chips that make it all work, some of them are made right here in the US, deep in the heart of Austin, Texas. This isn't where iPhones are assembled. That still mostly happens overseas. But many of the brains inside them, like Apple's A-series and M-series chips, are designed and sometimes manufactured or prototyped in Austin. The story starts back in 1992, when Apple opened its first real US
And you have to, this is what is so important about like listening to how something is said, right? It's kind of sneaky what this guy, how this person is saying this, but like how many chips are made here? There was the CHIPS Act, right? Biden was trying to have that be a huge industry for the United States, and then Trump, anything, you know, he's just so vindictive, you know. Oh, wait, nerdy, you know too much. I just realized, wait, Digital Dollar Project, 6G, 7G. All right, well, okay, so let me look at this thing. Yes, I'm a pay member. Yes, I'm a free member. No, what's that? Okay, well, I hope you'll become paid members. We're probably going to always kind of keep these sessions open. We might make the kitchen sesh closed to paid members for the live stream, and then you could still watch it like a week later or a few days later or something as the general, like as everybody else. I just want to give some, like the club is so amazing. They support all of this stream. I have my one guy who helps me, Winslow, and he sets me up and, you know, helps me with everything, because I make the little video in the beginning of these live streams and all of that, and I do the research and have like a little script ready and have the topics, figure out what we're going to watch for the most part. So the club really supports all of this. And I want to make sure that they're getting something exclusive beyond our amazing group chat, which is really awesome. And you have a direct line to me if you ever have any questions about like edibles and cooking with cannabis. I'm your girl. Anyway, so just want to say that. And the link is right underneath the poll. So if you do want to become a member, that's where you can become a member. The tiers start at $5 and it's really fun. It's a cool club. That's how I started doing this in 2020. Patreon started the Edibles Club.
Operations hub outside California. But things really took off around 2019 when Apple announced a multi-billion-dollar expansion to build one of the most advanced chip and component campuses in the country. They weren't alone. TSMC, the massive chip maker from Taiwan, also began a supply chain that powers everything from iPhones and iPads to MacBooks. Inside the buildings, it's like something out of science fiction. Workers in
Check
full
out the
clean room
NTT
suits,
data series
machines
that's on my
etching
page. You'll
circuits
find
onto
it
wafers
interesting.
smaller than a fingernail,
Okay, I'll take
and
a
a
look
level
at
of
it.
precision that's hard to
We're
wrap
gonna
your
end
head
the stream
around.
pretty
As
soon.
one technician said, the smallest thing we make ends up running the biggest devices in your life. And they're not kidding. These tiny chips handle everything. Photos, apps, FaceTime calls, even the way your phone unlocks with your face. Without them, your iPhone would just be a shiny paperweight. So while the final device might be boxed and shipped overseas, a big part of what makes it smart starts right here in Austin, Texas. From the cutting-edge world of silicon.
But now with these tariffs in place, they're going to be so expensive to import. So we have to see what goes on with this shit.
Let's rewind to something a little more rugged and made to last. Time to talk about denim, Levi's jeans. There's a good chance you've got a pair of Levi's in your closet right now. Denim jeans are about as American as it gets. Tough, simple, and made to be worn hard. But where are they actually made? The answer takes us back to El Paso, Texas, which was once the denim
Levi's
capital
right
of the
now.
country.
They're so gross.
Starting in the 1960s, Levi's
my
ran
personal
huge
pair, 'cause I
factories
wear them
there,
so
making
much.
millions of pairs of jeans every year. For decades, El Paso stitched,
Although I wish that they were longer.
washed, and packed the jeans worn across the U.S. But by the early 2000s, those factories shut down as production moved overseas. The last Levi's plant in El Paso closed in 2003, putting an end to a major chapter in American denim history. But the story doesn't end there. Today, a small but strong piece of made-in-USA denim still survives, especially in Greensboro, North Carolina, where Cone Denim operates its historic mill. These are the folks who once supplied Levi's with the original selvage denim, the tightly woven, long-lasting fabric that denim heads swear by. Now, they're bringing it back, on a smaller scale, with limited-run batches of jeans that are still made on vintage looms,
Wow.
just like they were a century ago. A craftsman at Cone put it this way: it's not fast fashion. It's real fabric, real hands, and real time. These jeans cost more, sure, but for people who care about quality, durability, and where things are made, that story means something. So while most Levi's now come from factories overseas, the heart of American denim still beats, slow and steady,
so basically,
in places like Greensboro.
So basically, like, most of the stuff that like is actually made overseas, they can't find things that are fully made in the United States. So let that be a lesson to all of us about, you know, these tariffs. And I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. Okay? We're not going to watch this full video because that's not very well done. And I'm pretty tired. I'm going to be honest. I'm feeling a little sleepy and a little stoned right now. The sugar is wearing off from the cookies. So I'm what you call crashing out. And I'm going to eat some real food, probably a salad or something fibrous like that. Lots of vegetables. Scrape out your insides. Okay, so I think we can all agree that made in the USA is somewhat of a, you know, more nuanced thing than they like to make it seem when they slap that label on stuff. As far as Trump goes, I know it's been pointed out time and time again that his products, his ties and hats and all of that, Bibles, they're not made in the USA. So he's a hypocrite. But, you know, seems to be a common theme with much of what we talked about this evening. You're welcome. Amen, FC. Thank you. So, you know, the tariffs, I don't think they're helping anybody. I think they're really hurting us. I think for now we're okay because we kind of have a stockpile of things, but people are starting to feel the effects of them. And even the people who are going to, you know, like I said in this video, it's like these machines, like those aren't made in America. the machines that are making the things that are made in America. So these tariffs affect us in the ripple of it. We haven't really felt it quite yet. So we're still in the find out stage. Or sorry, we're still in the fuck around stage, right? We're still fucking around. Gotta be patient. It's gonna hurt a little bit. Hurt us. And we're gonna find out pretty soon how it's all gonna shake down. So I'll teach you guys how to cook beans. Don't worry. We can be frugal stoners together. Waste not, want not. Anyway. So, and I wanted to ask you guys, are you going to bed? You're done too? You're going to sleep? Okay. I hear some cops coming. So let's just kind of sum up. He's going to cancel all of the tariffs and declare victory. Totally. So let's do a recap. Trump's shitcoin got a steep artificial hike from his dinner, pimping himself out to dinner, right? And that grift. Our ports are not getting as many shipments as they have in the past. We're keeping an eye on it. It's not looking good. Made in the USA, not much. Not much. So at least we've got weed and we've got each other. All right? So if you enjoyed the sesh, please, even just joining the club as a free member is awesome, because then you'll get a notification when I go live. You'll get any kind of behind the scenes stuff. You'll just get more up to date with what I've got going on. If you learned something, laughed, or just felt seen, please share the stream. Like I said, join the Edibles Club on Patreon and pick up my cookbook, How to Eat Weed and Have a Good Time. Let me drop that in the chat, you guys, because that is my major. I'm looking for a copy of it. I usually have a copy right here, but it's okay. My cookbook, How to Eat Weed and Have a Good Time. Here, I'll show you on the screen here. It is something I put a lot of work into and a lot of science. I ran over 200 lab tests on it, and it's available kind of everywhere, right? If you wanted to get it on Amazon, you can, but Barnes & Noble is great. You can find a local small bookstore now serving Los Angeles, has signed editions, if that's something you're interested in. And I just want to say before we go, if anyone ever tries to sell you on Trump's meme coin, just ask them if it comes with a roll of Charmin, okay? Have a good night. Hopefully it's extra strength. I'm going to roll. You got yours from Bezos. Hey, drop me a review. I have 34 5-star reviews right now for the cookbook on Amazon. They're excellent. Thank you, everybody. You are all so kind. I love my club. I see you all in the reviews for the book. It makes me feel so great. It makes me feel I put a lot of work into it, and I did it for all of you. It's dedicated to the Edibles Club and to everyone who loves to eat weed. And I know that's you. I know it. So let's roll this outro. Thank you to my patrons. Chris loves it. I love it. I love my patrons. Thank you so much. My edibles producers, Madam Dram, Lindsay, Chris. I love you all. You're the best. And I love all my members. Honestly, you guys are great. It's a cool club. It's on Patreon. We hang out. We post memes. Sometimes we post edibles. I hope you all have a really good rest of your week. Take care of yourself. and remember who you are.